Hi, this is the Salpo CRM and Deer Inventory Management integration review. So today we are going to go through a case example of how the integrations work together in using the system, and then we're going to go through how you set up that integration and get to the point where you can use this on a day-to-day basis. You'll see up at the top here that I have my Salpo CRM open in one tab, my Deer open in another tab, and the third tab here is the Salpo Support Center, and we'll get through to each as we go through this presentation. So right now I'm in the Salpo CRM, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the case study. So if I'm logged into the CRM, I'm going to see a list of my tasks or communications here on my dashboard. And I see that right now I have a quote status follow-up with Martin scheduled for today. So I'm going to go ahead and click into this, see what I need to do. And quote status, so follow up with Martin, I'm going to then look through this information and kind of see what was initially quoted. So in these demo examples, I sell water bottles, water coolers, and cups. So that's my business. And so here I've sent Martin a quote for 3 coolers, 6 water bottles, and a bag of cups at each site. And he has 5 total sites. So now, since it's been a few days, I'm going to follow up with Martin and see if they've had a chance to review the quote and if they'd like to move forward. So now I can give Martin a call over here. Let's say we chat and he gives us the thumbs up to move forward with the purchase. I can now convert this scheduled communication here to take it off my to-do list and say order and quote approved, moving forward with sale order in Deer. And I can convert that to say it's been completed. Now I'm going to create an opportunity for this organization. So I'm going to come in under the Add green drop-down button, which is on the Contacts profile page. And to get this contact into Deer, because they're not currently synced, I'm going to have to sync this contact into the Deer system. Now, Deer, and this is by design, Deer is the product inventory master, and Salpo is the contact master. So right now, the push-pull of it is that Salpo will pull product information out of Deer and populate it into the Salpo system. And then Deer, you can take the Salpo contact information and push it into Deer. So Deer technically comes and takes the contact information. So then that way, that's how we're sharing the data. So this gives us, by hitting sync, it gives us a confirmation that we want to add or update a contact in Deer. So I'm going to say I do and hit sync. And then this will push that contact over into the Deer listing. And if I do a refresh of the page here, you'll see I now have a Deer ID. And for demonstration purposes, we are keeping this exposed, but this can be a hidden or read-only field moving forward. We're just displaying it to show that the sync was successful for demonstration purposes. So if I go into Deer, and this is the Deer tab here, and I go to look at my customers, I will then see Martin's Motors as one of my contacts in here. So now if I search Martin's Motors, you'll see here, and you'll see that the address data pulled over. So now I'm going to jump back into the Salpo system, and now we're going to create an opportunity for this contact in the quote that we just been provided. So it populates automatically with the contact information and the name. We can say, title it something different if we'd like, of initial order, Martin's Motors, estimated value, chance of close. Since we've already gotten the OK, I'm going to put it as 100%, just being super optimistic. My close date and any description, extra notes I want to put in there. And I can also assign a permission. So if this is a sale I want to keep specific to myself and not viewable amongst other users, I can define that. But if this is a sale that only my team has access to, I can share that amongst our group, or I can make it public so that everyone can see that. And I'm going to leave it as public. Delivery details, since I'm a delivery water cooler business, there's some information that our team may need to know. So any entry code, the type of address, so let's say it's an office complex. Date of delivery is going to be the 26th. Date of order was today, the 24th. Entry codes, just to repeat here, missed delivery, we're going to say leave on side of the house or building. Animal on premise, let's say yes, dog and cat. And any other data ordered previously, no. And then this is just all the information that's specific to this sale and order. I can also connect a contact directly from this initial build screen in window. So I'm going to go ahead and connect an individual here. So the types of people I want to connect to an opportunity are going to be anyone that's revolving around this sale. So I may need to connect the finance person based off of who I need to invoice, and I may need to add the person who's going to be on site to accept the order. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the finance director, who I know is this guy, Matt Logan here. And then I'm going to show you another way to add a contact in as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now we're in the opportunity for Mertens Motors. You'll see here that this is an opportunity tag. So any communications that you have regarding this opportunity, if you put this op83 tag in the email subject line, when you have your email synced, it will automatically pull into this opportunities communications tab so that everything is tracked in one location. So you'll see here that there's only one connection added here, but now let's say I find out later who the warehouse or the site contact's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and add another contact in here. Let's look at Mertens Motors first. So we see Melissa Mason as the site control manager. So now I'm going to jump back into the opportunity for Mertens Motors, and I'm going to add a contact against this order. So I find Melissa Mason by a lookup field, and then she's going to be the site manager. And then I'll save that. So now I have both contacts associated with this order. So now I'm on the home page here, and you'll see that there's multiple different tabs. If I want to look at the communications, I'll be under that tab, the contacts list, all of the different connections. Any files that are specific to this order can be listed in here, so maybe contracts, warranty details, things like that regarding the water coolers. And products, now I'm going to click into, because I need to add the products that Mertens Motors was quoted for. So product name, I'm going to pull up the coolers we have. Let's say he wants gray ones. And you'll see here some of these toggles that we're running, and then some data pre-populated. So the product number will pre-populate, that's the SKU number from within DEAR. And then the sale price, tax rule, and tax rate information is all defined within DEAR as well. And you also will see the stock availability. So this is helpful when knowing if this person's ordering 3 water coolers, but there's only 2 left, then one would go on back order, or you could say we'll place the order once more stock's available. So we have 5 sites, and they need 3 at each site. So we're going to do 15 quantity total, and my price is already populated for me. So I can go ahead and add that in. Now I need to add in another product for my water coolers. I'm going to do 15. So I need the bottles. And again, my SKU and sale price and information, everything populates. So I'm going to hit save there. And lastly, I need to add some cups. Let's stick with gray again. And they only need 1 sleeve per location. And save that there. Okay, so now that I've added products against this opportunity, I can go ahead and create this order within DEAR. And so if you come to the opportunities green drop down add button here, then you'll see this create order. So I'm going to jump into here. Now I can create this as an authorized quote, an authorized order, or an invoice. So I'm going to leave it as an authorized quote right now. My customer is Martin's Motors, which pre-populates. My contact is going to be Melissa, because she's my site manager, and she'll be there to collect the order. So my billing address then, these addresses populate based off of the contacts that you've connected to this opportunity, and the main contact's details. So there's going to be, let's say our main billing address is going to be the Martin's Motors details. So that's the 123 Corporate Drive. And shipping address we'll leave as 123 Corporate Drive as well. So if I want to select all of these products to ship over, I can just easily select that first top option. But if there's one product that I don't want to include with this order because that part of the sale didn't go through, I can deselect one as well. And you'll see my tax rate and totals information is all included here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click create, and now this order will automatically create within Deere, and you'll get a little confirmation sign here as well. So now if I jump over, and I'm still within the opportunities page, if I jump over into this Deere Systems tab, I'm going to see the status and order information listed here as available. If I have a link and log in into Deere, this link will populate, and I can click on this and a tab will open with that order within Deere. So right now this is directing us into Deere, and it's going to pull up that order directly for us. So once I'm in Deere and I see that the status is at ordering, so just to show this, I'm going to jump back into Salpo, and you'll see the status is set as ordering. So if I jump back into Deere and I progress this order through, authorize that, now we're at pick, auto pick, authorize that, now I'm at pack, copy from pick, authorize, and now I'm at shipping. So if I then jump into Salpo and later down on the line the customer asks me what's the status of my order, if I've jump in and log into the system, and I'm just toggling back and forth here to refresh, you'll see that the status says, oh, it's already been packed, so it's going to be moving on to shipping. And you can kind of have that open, candid conversation with your customer. Once you move this all the way through to invoicing, and any totals that are tracked through here within Deere will also show over within the Salpo system for your invoice paid and due. Invoice dates and things like that can also be updated. So whatever is reflecting in Deere will then pull back over into the Salpo system. And that's ultimately it. Your order and how you're displaying that opportunity here will display. So the other view that you'll see, now that this order has gone through and it's posted up against this contact, if I jump back into Martin's Motors profile page, they will now have opportunities listed underneath of them, and you'll see that that status is in progress. But then also you'll see under the Deere Systems tab that there is an order and tracking information listed here. You can see any sales and purchases that Martin's Motors and this water organization have made between each other. So right now this was a sale of water coolers to Martin's Motors, but let's say Martin's Motors also supplies us with our company vehicles and we purchase vehicles through Martin's Motors somewhat frequently. Then I may also have purchases against this organization that are recorded in Deere. And if that's the case, you'd be able to see any purchases listed here. If you don't have any, then they won't display. I'm going to show you a contact that has more opportunities and orders against them so that you can see that data as well. So in Deere Systems, if there's many opportunities that have been created within the Salpo system, you'll see them listed here, and you'll see the opportunity ID that's associated with that order. So if I click on this, then it directs me right to that opportunity ID within Salpo, and again, if I click on that, little arrow option that will take me to the order within Dear. You will notice that there are some opportunities here that do not have an opportunity ID or number next to them. That means that the order was created within Dear, or it was a recurring order, or it just came in through another sales channel. But because there was an order recorded against Concoction Restaurant within Dear, it still is populating and showing within Salpo. So you do get that full customer view here. So now that we've gone through the case study and you've seen how to get to this endpoint and what this total amounts looks like, what you can do, or what we're going to do now, is go through the system build on how to get here. Excuse me. So initially, when you're logging into the system, you're going to have to integrate Dear with Salpo, or vice versa. So our integrations are tracked under the control panel. Only specific users have access to the control panel. And under the admin aspect here, you have your integrations. So because I'm already synced up, you're going to see this connection link here. If I click on this, it will disconnect my Dear systems. If you haven't connected Dear yet, this icon won't display, and the update option here will say connect. So once you do click on connect here, the system will ask you for your account ID and API key, and that's generated through Dear. So to show you how you grab that information in Dear, you can open up Dear systems on the API key via this link here that's provided, or when you're in the Dear systems. Let's go to your home page here. So if you've logged into your system here, then you can jump into the integration tab, and then you'll see your Dear API information here. So I'm going to go ahead and click into Dear API. And if you have any new, if you've not created an API key before, you won't see any listed, but if you have, you'll see some listed here. So all you have to do is create a new API key, and then that data will populate for you. To show you what a key looks like once they're doing that is this account ID, and then you title it, and then you're given a key. This is the information you have to copy and paste to put into the Salpo integration request fields. So if I copy and paste that directly, but please be careful and make sure that you don't extend past and grab that extra space at the end. You want to make sure that you highlight only to right after that last value. And then same with the key number. So the account ID and key are what you copy and paste into the Salpo system here. And then you'd click Save, and it would connect the two systems. From there, you'll initially, in doing an initial bulk load, let's say you already have customers within Dear, what you want to do is come into your contacts page so you'll do an export of your customer information out of Dear, and then you'll need to import those contacts into Salpo for the CRM. We don't want to mess up with any pre-existing invoicing structures that are already working, so it's best to make sure that those contacts reflect exactly the same way that they do in Dear once you've imported them into the Salpo system, which is why we recommend that process. So if you export that data, then import it into the Salpo CRM, you can use any kind of tag to locate which those customers are. And so now let's say they've imported into the system, and I say I need to look at anyone. Let's use dealing with Claire, because we know those are all of our Dear contacts or something. You may even use a custom field that's titled Dear, and you just say yes, and it can filter down to there. So now I'm looking at my 202 contacts that I need to sync, and this is just the easiest way to sync them in bulk, with getting them into Dear to make sure that the orders can be made and they're connected seamlessly. So then under my actions drop down here, I can bulk sync these contacts into Dear. So I'll click on that, and it will automatically take care that I understand the contacts in this list view will sync with or create new customers within Dear. So when I did this filter, I left it on the all option here. If you do not want individuals to sync into the system, you would need to select only organizations within this filter aspect. if you do, depending on your business model, you may only be billing organizations, whereas if it's a photography business, you may bill both organizations and individuals. So it just depends on your business use case and how you sync the contacts here. But as a protective measure, we do have an aspect here to say include individuals, just to make sure that you are connecting them if it's needed. And then once you hit sync, these contacts will bulk sync over into Dear. You can individually, like we used in the case example, you can individually sync contacts one by one if you'd like to as well. If this is your first time using Dear and your first time using Salpo CRM, you can do that initial bulk sync into Dear, and you don't have to worry about extracting any data out of Dear. So next, now that you have your contacts in, you need to set up your product information within Salpo and replicate what you'd like out of the Dear system within Salpo. So that, again, is under our control panel. And you'll see here that there's a products type under, excuse me, the admin area. And right now, because I've already synced these Dear products and been synced with Dear, you'll see what options I have here. And when you log in for the first time, you'd need to turn on this products tool and then create your different products, and then you can create custom fields underneath those products. So when I'm in the Dear system and I'm looking at my products, quick jump into Dear here, and let's say I'm looking at my gray water cooler, you'll see that I have some specific tax rule information or even the retail pricing information. Dear is, again, the product master, so it's best to leave this information in here, but if you need it within the Salpo CRM for any other aspects as well, what you'll do is in the CRM system, once you're under, we're in the coolers, once you're under this product type, you can edit the custom fields that you would like to pull over here. So for any pricing, you can define what information you want available here. Otherwise, these standard fields like tax rate, sale price, cost price, product number, etc., will show through based off automatically. As you saw when we were creating the order, they pull through without necessary other or additional intervention. So now that you've created some custom fields against the different products, you can come back and sync the products. So right now you're seeing these green Dear tags right here, which show that these are all active products within Dear. So if I want to sync this information with Dear, and again it will ask you to confirm that this action will be processed in the background and you're okay with moving forward with the sync. So I've said yes, and then now it's queued for processing. So upon initial syncs, depending upon how many products you have listed, this could take moments or it can take a few hours to fully sync through, because our system will now pull through all of the different categories and then all the products listed underneath each one of those categories, and that data will populate here for you. Products also then populate under this drop-down, so there is a listing of products and how you can filter and report on that data. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. And because all of my products are active, they're showing Dear. But let's say you've deprecated a few products in Dear, then after that type of sync, you'll come through and it would see any red markings of Dear here if the product has been previously or been deprecated within Dear. So that's how you then sync products. And the next aspect is creating an order, which we reviewed during the case example. So I can create orders from this global green drop-down add option by saying add an opportunity. And when we went through in the case example, that contact information had pre-populated. So that's ultimately the only difference. If I add an opportunity from a profile page view, the contact information will pre-populate. If I add it from that global header menu bar, I have to add this data in manually, only with these two steps. So I can do Martin's Motors again, and then that name pre-populates, and I can change it to be second order, or however I'd like to label it. And then you get to define out your currencies and all the information delivery details like we reviewed before. So lastly, I'd like to review our Salpo Support Center and where you can find additional resources on how to set up and use this integration. So the Salpo CRM wikis are located within our Salpo Support Center. And if you click into here and scroll down just to a little bit, the integration Deere systems inventory management overview data is all listed here, and you'll see articles that show you how to move through this integration and what you need, and basically walks you through each step. If you have any additional questions on how to use that system, or you're missing something from the documentation or need anything further explained, you can email us at support@salpo.com, and that will get you in touch with myself or one of our support team agents, and we can assist you with getting this integration set up further. So please don't hesitate to let us know if you have any questions, and we hope you enjoy using the Deere inventory management integration. Thanks so much.